my favorite thing. Wait, what's that?
The microphones I brought over.
Oh, really?
Michael
Oh, cool.
Jackson recorded
That's cool.
vocals on one of those. Yeah.
I like that.
Dang.
It's really,
Yeah. But he's also one of the greatest singers of all time.
yeah.
So.
He's also dead.
He. That's what they say. I don't know.
Yeah, are you
Yeah.
sure about that?
He might not be dead.
I'm just gonna.
I'm
bring
worried he
this
was dead
inside
way
just in
before they
case.
announced it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Like
yeah.
years.
And just like his record company is just trying to keep him alive. Like,
They just wheeled
Oh
him
my
out.
He's
god! No!
like Weekend at Bernie's. He's like,
No. You mentioned it.
you're like, well, yeah, because they just kept putting that makeup and stuff on him.
Yeah, and that's
And
why
then, yeah,
he looked that way.
he is like, oh, his nose fell off, and they're like, yeah, it's just plastic surgery.
Explains why.
Yeah.
And also wasn't a pedophile because he was a corpse.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Kids hanging out.
god!
So actually, if that leaks out,
It's
it
actually
absolves him, right?
necrophiliac, right?
What
It's really
the
the
fuck? We're instantly
It's
canceled!
the kids that are at fault. It's the kids are the criminals. So.
Okay, so in the last COVID bill, they had 180 days to release a UFO report to the Congress, and and that
Here
day,
we are.
that day is today. So we just figured we'd talk about what they might be releasing and why, and if they're actually going to release anything, and what that means, I guess. Yeah.
And since
So-
it doesn't say anything, we got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So do you think they're just gonna release more of the same, just it's like stuff that we can't identify and
Yeah.
that's it, or are they gonna elaborate?
I
at
can't
all?
imagine there's gonna be anything besides that.
I'm hoping there's gonna be more video and photographs than the ones that they released last year. The Fleur and Gimbal
Yeah.
video.
Not
More of that shit would be great.
Yeah, I think those. They said they had close-up photos of those incidents that leaked. So if they actually were able to show some of those, I think it'd be really good. Even if it were just those incidents, because they were already pretty interesting. So it's anything closer up would have been.
I mean, if they got
Nice.
a video, if they have a photo of close-up craft with a window and a little dude waving in it, that would
like a thumbs
that'd
up.
be great.
Yeah.
Honestly,
If they have thumbs.
people, I don't think really even give a shit about what they released or the fact that they're releasing anything. They could just have a alien in a ship with a thumbs up, and people would be half the people would be like, it's fake, it's Photoshop.
Yeah.
It wouldn't impact anything anyway. Just release them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I do think that I was thinking about this too before. If they were to actually release something and it was that crazy, it's just this squid and floating in a glass sphere or something like that. They might just. I think. Do you think today that what the impact versus 100 years ago would be?
Way less.
Now, I think I feel 20% of people might be this is good enough for me to watch.
I think half the people aren't even aware that anything's being released anyway. They just don't know. My parents don't know.
It wasn't on
that it's
mainstream
released.
news though. My grandma mentioned
That's
it,
what's weird.
which
about
was
it.
weird. And my
Yeah.
grandma and my aunt, who only they don't have cell phones or.
Yeah.
I bring it up
Computers?
to everybody I meet.
Yeah.
And all- and people
Right.
look
I make
at
it
me
a
like
point.
weirdo.
Yeah, no, you've got to do that. You got to spread the word.
Going to the grocery store takes an extra hour because you got to tell everybody.
But it's just I do think that now maybe just because of movies and books and stuff like that, people are just kind of way more desensitized to anything like that. Even in the
Hollywood's been preparing us for this
yeah.
for years.
No. And that could just be generally being desensitized to it from seeing it so many times in popular culture. But it, I feel do you think the general interest is still there? Actually being interested.
We looked it up on Google Trends, and it was
Yeah.
it was spiked like crazy throughout.
I think
That's true.
the
15
fact that
years
you're not
span.
a crackpot anymore for being into this
Is
stuff.
Right.
big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. I remember being in the 90s, like when we were kids and stuff. Like
It was weird.
if
It
you would
was
talk
weird.
about stuff like that, people were just like,
It's cringe.
I don't know, yeah,
You're watching too much X-Files.
yeah.
Well, have you guys had experiences at all? Like,
I wish, and I've never had.
right.
My
I've
family
never-
supposedly, so like I grew up with like my family saying like weird ass stories.
Yeah,
And when you're a kid, it's like I don't know.
I've never
don't-
had
I don't-
any paranormal experience at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
So this
I'm
is
looking.
What about you guys?
well, yeah. There's
I
like
had never till I met this piece of shit. I feel like you're a magnet for bullshit sometimes.
That's probably true.
Oh yeah, I lied. I'll go after you though.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Okay, yeah. Like no, like basically, like, well, there's some interesting like.
He's got a few, but we just had
Like,
one like a week, 2
Because
weeks ago.
yeah, no, it started like I think maybe.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe 2
Sounds
weeks ago.
accurate.
But like, I think the first weird thing that I saw related to this was like, over by the river, like maybe like a year ago, like a year or two ago, like but there's like I was walking down Conklin Ave and there was a this orange, like sphere, floating over like this neighborhood, and it was coming down into the river area, and then it was like maybe 100 feet above me, and it didn't look like there was anything. It was like I was like, first thought is just like this is like maybe like a drone or something, like a traffic drone or something, like because it was the highway is right there, or like Vestal Parkway thing, like but the like it looked like gas, like with weird like just fluctuated, like almost like it just kind of looked like plasma or something.
Yeah, like a Kamehameha.
Yeah, no,
Floating around.
Like energy, like you
Yeah,
would envision energy.
but it was like it didn't look that big either, because it was like maybe like as big as like
As
a beach ball
as
or
a
something.
lantern.
Yeah, but it was like
They're all lanterns.
yeah, but it was
Yeah.
it moved
Can't say
over.
Chinese lantern.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a Chinese. I can see it clear enough to know that it like, because these are all the things that were running through my mind. But like then it went over the river and then in over the city and I tried to follow it until I couldn't see it anymore. But then like a couple weeks ago we saw the same thing, like it was farther away, but there's 4 of them. And it was
There were
also,
4 orange
yeah.
lights like coming in and going out. It's very weird.
They were like in formation at one point, and they turned like this, and then they just like dimmed, and they went over. It was over the river, and then it was really bright in the
It
beginning,
was very bright.
like because this is like Penn Ave, right? Like
Yep, coming down.
coming down Penn Ave, and like over where the river is again or whatever.
It would have been over the river.
Yeah.
Park Ave or Penn Ave?
Is your mom up?
People in
Park
LA
Ave.
don't.
Yeah, but
Park Ave. They're 2
Anyway,
streets
yeah,
that are
it's a
parallel. We
difference.
always get them mixed
Two
up.
streets. But anyway, yeah, like we're looking down the street, and the river is down at the end of the street, like beyond, like there's some buildings, and then there's trees, and then there's the river. But like so this was farther away than the one that I saw before, but like it like was bright enough that like there's like cars coming in our
Very
direction and
bright.
stuff. It was brighter than their headlights in the beginning, and then it turned and like they like
Or something. I don't
something,
know.
yeah, like, and then it like
It went to the side and then went behind trees.
and then
like, out.
we drove over there to see, and got out and went onto the bridge to see if we could see anything, and there's
walking
people out
bridge.
there and shit, and nobody was.
There were no helicopter sounds, or
There's
there was
no
because that's what
helicopter.
I thought. It was
Yeah, we're
was
like
it
it's
a
either
helicopter?
like a helicopter or it's like but it didn't look like a helicopter.
And it would have
Yeah.
been big, like it would have been like bigger than a car.
It was.
It was
'cause-
very confusing, and I had like nonstop goosebumps, and
Yeah.
I like sent that
It's
to my
pretty
family. I was
bizarre,
like,
yeah.
"It's proof. Like I'm not crazy. Like this is really weird."
Yeah, because like
look at these kids.
Yeah.
it's hilarious too, because like we started preparing for like doing this podcast and stuff for like looking at
Yeah.
stuff, and she's like, I wish I could see something.
Well, I was trying to manifest it when we were fishing that one time. I was really like, I won't take a picture. I promise. Like just
and
show
then
me
you're like
something.
you're like
And I tried to take a picture, and my phone, it was just black. Like, I hit the photo
So
button.
what-
They're
They
jamming your
jammed
phone.
it,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Well,
See,
dude, I hit it,
yeah.
and it was just black, and I was like,
She
are
was
you
she's
fucking
like
kidding
she's
me?
like, and she just kept saying that. She's like,
I
I,
was like,
can't
what
take
the
a picture. And I was like, and you're like, I was trying to like I wanted to see something like that. That was pretty weird though, right? And I was like, yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, like the.
It's kind of awesome. You got to experience.
It was really cool, like, because like the first thing that I saw like before, like I was just like, this is like, because it was like just
a single light is
ball.
more like it's just a drone or something.
But it was close enough. It wasn't a drone,
right?
It was
But
just like,
I feel like when you tell people about it, they're just
yeah,
like,
but it's
it's
it
probably
still
a drone.
could have been, I guess. Like, but like just looking at it, it looked very bizarre. And
This
like,
could have been like 4 drones. I don't know.
That's also possible. Like, it just looked really bright.
The
Yeah.
thing though too with drones, like there's a lot of like I think they have to have like
Yeah.
blinking. Red
There was
and green
nothing
lights and stuff.
blinking.
I think
That's
they
why
have
I
to
was
have
like-
the same
That's what I was
blink.
talking about
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
If it was a
same-
helicopter, it would have
all,
had to have.
all aircraft have to
Yeah.
have those lights.
So
Yeah.
Anything
can see
licensed, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like either it was somebody's hobby drones, or
or like some
Which are
Lockheed
still highly
test.
regulated.
But you
Test
also
thing
said
or
like,
something.
You follow the regulations, but yeah.
Yeah.
if you were
I
to
think
scale
everyone
it, it was
does,
pretty
'cause
large.
it's-
It would have
You
been
might as
bigger than a
well.
car. Like,
Like,
it would have been big.
If it was one object, yeah, it would have been big.
He
If it
thinks
was-
it might have been
I
separate.
think it might have been like multiple versions of what I saw is like, and it might have been separate small things. Is kind of because I didn't looking at it. It didn't look like there was more to it. I was trying to like
Right.
see.
See,
if
I
could
saw
see
it. My
outlines or
brain saw it
something.
as like the classic
Yeah.
shape of like 4 lights in a row.
It was in like a formation because it
Was
started
it
out.
just drifting or did it actually move?
It moved.
It didn't
yeah.
move fast. Like I was like, man, I wish it like moved
Zoomed
really
off.
fast or something.
Yeah.
But like it just sort of it was like this, but then like I think it went like that and sideways.
Yeah, and then like it just went out of view, and like
Behind
it got
trees.
less dim. or
And I
less
think
bright,
The lights
and then
like went off, but you could still see like a shimmer. I don't know what my brain actually saw because I was like
it was
freaking
pretty
out.
hard to like because
Yeah.
I was also driving, so I was trying to like get a
Not
better
crash.
vantage point without like being dangerous or whatever. But like but it was pretty interesting, and like so those are like the 2 weirdest things I've seen. You said you saw something as well.
Yeah. It's probably 2008, 2009 in Utica. We just got out of the car and we were walking into like going to this place to eat, and then just suddenly above the clouds a spotlight shone down.
Oh, weird.
So
Oh,
like
crazy.
and you could tell from the like it was like a cone.
Yeah,
So the light was coming from above the clouds, but it was like a crazy fucking bright spotlight.
that's nuts. Yeah,
And it just was on, and so we stopped and we just watched it for a while, and then it just turned off.
weird.
And it was like you could tell it was super far away, but a normal spotlight from that far away you wouldn't
be
see
that
it.
bright.
Like,
Yeah,
it was above the clouds. You could see it in the clouds, and then you could see it
Weird.
like the dust in the air. You could still see it go all the way.
that's weird.
almost
yeah,
all the way to
That's
the
insane.
earth.
that's crazy.
And then we looked it up a few days later, and at the same time, people saw it in like Maine and stuff. So I don't
Weird.
know how far away
That's
it was
crazy.
and like how bright it was, but like, yeah.
Was it like
just,
a beam or like was it?
It was like
outward?
a regular like a incandescent light bulb kind of like it didn't seem like a it wasn't like a big laser
Yeah,
it
yeah.
spread just like
Okay.
a regular light would like a spot. It was like a if
Weird,
there was a
yeah.
mile wide spotlight just
That's crazy.
in
Yeah,
the clouds that just turned on for 20 seconds or something.
that's weird.
And then turned off.
Like, and so that and they had other people witnessed it
Yeah,
in the area.
yeah.
Yeah, like we were
Might have
looking.
been like Massachusetts or something, but like
Yeah.
there were places that were pretty far away.
That's
like-
crazy. Like we were looking at
Weird.
like he found on Facebook actually, other people have seen the orange orbs or whatever.
They've seen the orbs
right
around
here
here
around
locally.
Over
the
the
river.
river,
Yeah,
yeah.
over the river.
Might be noteworthy to talk to them.
Yeah,
Sure.
and like
Yeah.
and your family.
It's like a localized phenomenon.
Yeah.
It goes back pretty far in Binghamton, actually.
Yeah.
Like there's been sightings here for
Her
a long
family
time.
has seen the same thing. Like,
As a complete pessimist,
yeah.
it sounds like you're describing those Oriental lanterns.
Yeah.
No,
but-
no. It's a definitely
Or Earth lights.
doesn't look.
But
like
we've
that,
set off
yeah.
those lanterns a lot
Yes,
up
we
at
have,
your
yeah.
house,
Yeah.
and I've seen them
Yeah.
like travel really
I've
far
seen them
away.
before.
This was a very bright.
Yeah, they
Well,
kinda
I saw
disappeared
it.
Yeah,
pretty
that would be the
quick.
difference.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
is the tone of the light.
There's
Yeah.
a soft
Yeah,
flickering.
you
Like
can
we've
see-
watched them go
Right.
so far.
Yeah.
These look like
This was like-
way different. I've seen
I've-
those before too. Yeah,
It was very weird.
it was very
Yeah,
bizarre.
yeah.
Yeah, like like there's like also like if you look at like the we were just like looking at this stuff yesterday, like because I was like had heard about the Foo Fighter things and stuff, like, but I was looking at more of that, like, during, like, World War II, and, like, during the Vietnam War and the Korean War, I think it is, like, they, like, a lot of the pilots would see these orange balls following their...
Were they specifically orange?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
would follow their airplanes, and they would mimic their patterns and stuff, and then they would, like, fly around, like, targets and stuff that they were looking at and everything, and then they would just go away. And then some of them would try and follow them, but they would move so quick that they couldn't actually catch up with them. But they, so this is like a wide,
Yeah.
like,
So you're
thing,
saying the
and it's the
Viet Cong
same
had
thing,
drones.
yeah. Huh?
The Viet Cong had drones, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. But they thought that they were, like weird German technology or Russian technology,
Yeah.
depending on the era.
Yeah, like
and,
World War II, everyone was super paranoid. They're like, oh, these
Yeah.
guys have some crazy technology.
Yeah. And like this, like, so they're like, oh man, they're like, they really passed us this time or
Yeah.
whatever. But like they like,
Because they were all passing through the dimensional veil and getting technology from aliens, but they were like, well, I wonder what the aliens are giving the other guys.
yeah.
We haven't really seen much of that, I don't think.
Nuclear bomb, internet. I have no idea.
YouTube's just
Radar.
an interdimensional portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? A person invented that? Come on. People.
I do have a sea monster experience, but I feel like that's not
Yeah, no.
Oh no,
I
it's
hear it.
it's definitely applicable. Like, a lot of these are
People
seen in the water.
underwater.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I was on a boat coming down Cayuga Lake, and it was like 1 a.m. We were in the
Yeah.
middle of the lake, and there was no other boats anywhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And we were chugging along. It was super smooth, like super clear, quiet night. And like 400 feet out, the water just sank. A big set, like a large, maybe
Weird.
like 60 foot across area of water just sank and created a
Weird.
ripple around that was. And we were in a 30-foot boat.
Oh, weird.
And it created a wake large enough that,
crazy.
that the boat was like.
That's pretty
Yeah,
nuts.
and
Yeah.
one guy, the one guy was like, we were all kind of like looking at it, and one guy goes, "Well, that's fucking weird." And, okay, yeah, no, it is. Like we
That
all
is
are
pretty
experiencing
weird, yeah.
this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's supposed to be a Cayuga Lake monster. They made a
Oh, I didn't know
statue
that.
of it. They made a
Interesting, yeah.
statue of it, but
What does it look like?
like a giant turtle,
Has it been spotted? Or like,
supposedly.
Well, you would think a turtle moving
Think so.
underwater.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
make
a
a
that.
large turtle would do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of unusual that there wouldn't be like megalithic sized turtles out there still.
I don't know if that's unusual or not.
As far as we know, we
There's
have-
pretty large turtles.
Yeah,
Yes,
they are
absolutely.
pretty big. Yeah.
They supposedly don't. There's some that don't ever die, right? From natural causes, right? They just keep
Lobsters
growing.
don't die from
I know I think there's
Oh.
some
They don't
turtles or
have to eat
tortoises that don't.
Maybe,
turn.
yeah. Like I know that, like they
Like, they
live.
found some real
The
big
oldest one, like apparently the turtle that Charles Darwin like studied is still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just died recently.
I think he
Just
just
died,
died
yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy. All
But
right.
like,
See the
Yeah.
arch, Darwin's arch collapsed. Did you see that?
which thing?
Darwin's arch. It's like at the Galapagos, is
Oh,
a big
yeah, yeah.
rock formation of an arch. It
No, I
just
did see
collapsed
that,
and
yeah.
that's
Huh.
Darwin's pillars.
Darwin's
Yeah.
pillars.
Ironic.
Yeah. Oh, also, I was looking
Evolution,
at a thing. It was about like this lady. She had like it was I think in the 90s. She she worked at a university and was doing government contracts for like research, and she made like a design for a spinning disc, and it was a superconducting, a room temperature superconductor. So she did the math on this like thing, like, and it basically you'd spin this at like 5,000 RPM, and then it would reduce the effects of gravity on the object that it's attached to. So
we built one.
Oh no, we did mess around with it. Those were crazy. Yeah, when we were making gyroscopes as kids, and they like with old VCR parts and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
Get one of those going 30,000.
Oh, no,
RPM,
yeah.
And they
remember that.
vanished.
Remember that one?
No.
It
Didn't you guys like almost
Was
die?
it-
Didn't it like hit the wall and
no,
like
it
disappear?
flew off, and then
It
it went.
concrete wall, and there was nothing. There wasn't like a cut in the wall, and the thing we never found it.
Yeah.
It just like disintegrated
I
into
think
like a
it
thousand
we made several of them, and
Some
then,
dude in 1809. It's
Weird.
I remember one of them. Didn't it saw through like the air duct down there? We were in our friend's basement. It was like
it's a good place to
it was like,
run,
like
Because it wound
it was-
down, had to wind down.
Yeah,
even though it had
right,
no.
yeah.
It was no longer powered by anything.
Yeah,
it was
no.
a free gyro.
it was like a
free
lead
moving
disc
gyroscope.
that we
Yeah.
yeah. 30,000 RPM, yeah.
that was pretty interesting. But like, it was really proto research for what this lady was doing. And she she designed this thing and then put out a paper. You could read all her research papers and stuff. They've been published and so then she created a company like not long after, and then that company still exists, but she hasn't been heard from anymore, and which sounds bad, but
she probably just got absorbed
No,
by the
yeah.
government.
no, she still probably working on whatever this thing
Yeah.
is, and but recently apparently the Navy has released multiple patents that are based on the same concept. And it's like an inertial dampening device, and it would allow you to do the same kinds of maneuvers that you see in these videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically, if you can reduce the mass of a fighter jet down to the mass of a Coke bottle, you could get it to move at insane angles and stuff like that. And then from the perspective of the people inside, if the effects of gravity, if it works both ways, if it's not impacting them as much, then they're not going to die. And the Navy released these. So
I mean, if the Navy's putting out the patents, that means that was 20 years ago. They already did that.
Yeah.
And they're also
They're
releasing
way
TikTok,
further now.
videos all of a sudden of
Yeah.
this technology seeming to be implemented.
So how likely do you think it is that they are actually just getting ready? Maybe because of the escalating shit with China and stuff or whatever, with Russia and stuff. Maybe that they're getting ready to do some sort of force escalation thing and just show them that we're really.
I'm pretty sure there's
Technologically advanced.
Yeah.
like them.
yeah. There's no aliens. It's all the military. This is all a psyop, and the New World Order. I don't know, something like that.
Well, it's like if you have these research vehicles, for example, whether or not there are aliens or anything like that, that type of technology would be so much more advanced. I'm pretty sure right now they're pretty close to a room temperature superconductor anyway.
Oh yeah, I think I saw something about one that was reasonably cold,
Oh, okay, yeah.
somewhere around freezing.
See, that's.
They may be better than
I thought
that.
you
but-
mentioned that one time.
What's
I
temperature like
think.
higher in the
I do remember
atmosphere?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reasonably
Oh
cold.
yeah, very
Oh,
very
yeah, yeah.
reasonably cold. Yeah.
Plus, if you have if you're running a system like that with some liquid nitrogen on board, you could just easily
While you're in the atmosphere, you
Yeah.
just use that, and then
Yeah.
when you get out.
and basically and then because you can reduce the effects of gravity, you can carry more gear like that too. So it's very very possible that that's what's going on, and that they're really amping up to just it's kind of didn't they do the
It's
same
like they're
thing?
grasping social media now. They're like, well, we'll put out
Yeah.
this these little feelers, and we'll
Yeah.
we'll freak people out a little bit.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, guess what? It's us. Isn't that badass?
Yeah, no,
I don't buy it. I don't
No.
buy it at all. No.
Yeah.
I think
No.
if we had that technology, some person would have already showed you that technology.
Leaked
So in any country, in any
Yeah.
part of the world.
Yeah.
So stuff doesn't stay quiet for very
Yeah.
long, and
But,
you're talking 50.
And there's
plus
also
years, so.
there's they figured out the degree to something weird happening and how many people you have to make sure
Yeah.
stayed silent.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't fake
It's
a moon
impossible.
landing
Yes.
because you need
Yeah.
12,000 people to never
Right.
speak
Yeah.
a word about it. So
Well, it's one of the reasons though they do compartmentalization. Everything's
what you're
super
working on,
compartmentalized,
yeah.
and you don't really know. It's am I just working on a project for a movie set, for a commercial for the government or
Yeah.
something? They have
That's
no
true too. Yeah. Might not be 12,000.
and then they see the moon landing, and they don't realize that they were implicitly involved
Yeah.
in producing it. They're like, oh, I just made that commercial video or whatever.
Yeah.
but man, that's awesome. We actually made it or whatever. They might like literally, like shit.
Oh, I see
In
what
the
you're
government's so compartmentalized that you might work on one chip, like
Yeah.
to a fighter jet, and like somebody else makes a pipe that's in there,
Right.
and it's pretty.
Yeah, that's definitely
like,
true, but it's not all government control. I mean,
Yeah.
you got surveillance from corporations, from people.
And you do have
like,
higher ups who
Yeah.
are
Everybody has
overseeing
Yeah.
that
Somebody
stuff.
sees
Yeah.
the bigger
So,
picture.
That's
the
true.
fact that like he was saying,
Yeah.
like you can't silence 12,000 people. You,
Yeah.
you just can't.
I'm
But
just
that-
talking out my ass, but
We all are.
hypothetically, you could have done the moon landing fake, and the only people that would know it was fake are the people that were there for the filming, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
if a group of 30 people created the set and did the filming,
Yeah.
then you just tell NASA, like, oh yeah, you're going to launch this rocket, it's going to go to the moon, and they launch a rocket and it goes somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe then another 20 people at NASA to have it not land on the moon, but just come back.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's just not loaded with anyone.
Yeah,
They're talking
yeah,
to
like,
people in a simulator and it just
We've all
lands in
seen
the ocean
David
somewhere. or
Copperfield,
whatever.
like,
yeah, yeah.
Buzz Aldrin's like, yeah, I'm getting in. I'm
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
now.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
in
yeah.
there. But, you know, I just like to ruin fun.
But like that, like I mean, you could do that, like, and like, really, would be like the editor would be the guy who really knows, like,
Yeah.
cut this.
Some-
Yeah,
I mean, everyone had to
making
shoot.
the film. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like,
I wouldn't hold it above a government agency to threaten your family's lives.
Why even threaten?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
kill him.
I was gonna say when it's done,
Or,
then
yeah.
he just disappears.
Well, Buzz is still walking around, like,
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah,
has
but
a
he's-
moon.
yeah,
Supposedly, and I don't know if this is.
They
I
probably,
don't know
if
how
it was
if I-
fake, they probably would have killed him by now. Just
Yeah, I don't
so,
know.
like, because he's old now. Like, he could
Yeah.
just, like,
He's
start
in his
being like,
90s.
he could just be like walking down the street, be like, actually, it was fake.
yeah. No, that's
You
true.
can't- you
He
Yeah.
said he punches people to say it's fake. So
Yeah, that's true. I saw
Well, that might be the kind of guy that they recruited
Yeah.
for it. Like, would you
Also
like?
brainwashed
Are you
America.
dedicated to America enough
For all
to
we
punch
know.
an old
I mean,
man?
they're
in the face?
brainwashing
brainwashed.
techniques are
Yeah,
pretty
you might
advanced,
think it
probably,
actually happened.
Yeah, or
Well, I saw
maybe
they had
MK
that,
Ultra
ice cream
experiment. He
factory.
thought it did happen.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
thought it did happen. He was actually just in an LSD laden capsule.
Did you go?
Yeah.
Did you go see at the old ice cream factory that had the moon landing simulators?
I wanted to go when it was there.
Is it gone now?
I don't know if it's still there. I want to see it. Like I
saw
think it
it's
was there
pretty fucking
temporarily.
Cool, like,
Yeah,
but I mean, they could have just thrown him in there and been like, "You're on the moon."
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, and then he's just like he's playing with his knobs and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
he's like, they have like some like black construction paper with holes in it on the outside
Yeah.
of the windows, and they're like,
Yeah. No, they had no. The thing was really cool. It was like a reverse projection of the of the like the visible
would see,
stars.
yeah.
And then it was like reversed around a globe, and then they shone light from the inside of it, and it
That's
looked
cool.
like and then you looked at it through the windows of the simulator, and
Yeah.
it looked just like
That's
you're looking
cool.
at out into space.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you get to go inside of it, like when they?
No.
Okay, yeah. Because like
They
no-
had that module was separate. They had it like off to the side.
Like, I
It
heard
was
it-
all up in pieces.
I heard about it like afterwards, and I thought they took it down. Like if it's still there, I want to go check
They
it out.
had it
Yeah.
on. I don't want to say too much, but so they had it because what I guess they were storing it for someone,
Okay.
and
it's-
For the Chinese.
I don't
It's
know
the
how long that was.
original
I think,
simulator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they essentially. There's not necessarily a reason that they would get rid of it. I
Okay.
don't think anyone wants it.
Really? Okay.
Like no one wants it destroyed, but it no one wants to house it either.
Probably it's just a large item. So
It's just a
hard
big
to-
thing that's
yeah.
like okay. And
It's gotta
neat,
really
but, like,
gotta be a
if
museum.
you had that in New
piece.
York City for a year, at some point you're like, okay, no one gives a shit about this anymore.
Yeah,
like, everyone
yeah.
that wanted to see it saw it.
Yeah, yeah, Like,
because it's not like bring it here is like people are gonna come here to see it or anything. So I think they're just
Yeah.
kind of I don't know.
yeah.
Seems like
Okay,
no one
so
cares
somebody
about
like
it anymore.
owns it and they don't have any place for it, so
Yeah,
they
they got-
housed it
yeah.
there. Okay, all right. That's cool though. Like, because it was Singer Link, right, that made it. I think. Can't remember.
I want to say no, but
Or
I'm
was
not
it
sure.
Yeah. I'll
No,
have to
they,
look it
I
up.
mean they have Blue Box from Link also.
Okay.
there.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I think that's theirs, so that should
Okay.
probably be there forever.
Okay, yeah.
I did get into that and fly that around. That was cool.
That's cool. Like
Yeah.
now, is it all instruments? There's no visual component
Right,
to that,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Is that like the original one?
It's one of the original
Yeah,
ones.
they were
Yeah.
doing during like
Yeah.
World War II.
I was surprised. I mean, we've all seen them our whole lives and stuff. But
Yeah.
I was surprised they actually fit in there because I'm a small elephant. So I wasn't sure. I'm an average sized person. We're gonna have to cut this part.
yeah.
Just cut that whole section.
Well, yeah. No, I think like it's awesome that that's on display. I've always liked that museum. Like it's pretty cool. Like
Yeah,
we
it was cool
did some
shit.
work on some of the displays there.
I'm
that
talking
one
about the
time.
tech. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
operated by a crazy woman though.
Yep.
But, apart from that, it was
It
cool.
was fun though.
It was
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
for a day.
I
And
like
The
I
museum
showed up. I was
down
like,
now?
"Hey, I'd
Yeah.
like to like do some work in this like
Why is
museum."
she crazy?
And she's like, "Do you want to help fix the leaking roof?" I was like, "No,
Oh.
I really
Oh,
don't want
man.
to help fix the leaking
Yeah,
roof."
no,
Yeah,
I-
that place.
I like setting up
Needs some
displays though.
love.
set up displays of cool
Yeah.
antiques. Sure, yeah. Like that. Like, I like the automated piano and
Yeah.
stuff. They have there,
She was
too.
looking for
Yeah.
somebody, and what I was really
Yeah.
interested in, but I didn't stick with it. She was looking for somebody to restore those player pianos.
See if
Oh.
I knew
That
anything
would've
about it,
been
it'd be a fun project. But
Yeah.
like I would want to learn a lot of shit before I messed
feel
with
like
that.
Oh no, they're
Yeah.
there, and she has a working one. You just look at the working
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
That's
You look at the
true.
one that's broken, and you.
Oh, I
It's
see.
all
Yeah,
wooden
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's nothing amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like if some dude just showed up and I was in charge of the museum, well, she's crazy. But
She is.
if some dude just showed up and was like, I could probably fix it. Let me take a look under the hood. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
Not too many of these sitting around.
It's pretty
Probably
nuts
are.
that those
There
were
was a
made
number
here.
of them
Yeah.
that didn't work.
Every time I see a Wurlitzer, I want to send it to you on eBay, but then I'm like, no one wants them. I'm like, oh, this is a fucking great deal. Fucking $150 for the top of the line. Where I was like, and all the bells and whistles. It's like,
You can really
sounds like an
I can get a
electric
VST
from the
now.
60s. Exactly.
You can see
For
the
$50, you can make one. You can get one that's better.
you can see the progression of all that stuff because it's all local stuff that was made here.
Mhm.
But that type of machinery, like you can see the way they're thinking about the automated pianos in the 1800s, the punch cards and the clocks.
Yep.
And then they're like, what if I just put this into an airplane and have a guy sit in it and it just simulates all these flight maneuvers and stuff.
Yep.
And then the computers, the IBM stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It really started in the 1800s. If you
Yeah.
look at the
I mean, in the 90s, 80s, 90s, this was one of the technological hubs of the country, and there's still a surprising amount of I mean, obviously we're outed at this point. Everyone knows where we live, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's still a lot of technology here. There's a lot of circuit board manufacturers,
Yeah.
machine shops. There's per capita machine shops here is I think kind of crazy. There's so
Yeah.
many machine shops that
Pretty
operate out
nuts.
here.
They work on a
Especially
lot of
in
military
New York
stuff.
too, with the taxes, you would think some that
Yeah.
I've worked with before have moved to Virginia and stuff, but
Yeah.
there's still plenty here.
Yeah.
Low wages helps, I guess.
Pretty nuts. Yeah. Well, yeah. Cost of living here. is
Yeah,
pretty
cost of
low,
living's
yeah.
so low.
Yeah. And but you look at that there is definitely a resurgence here in
I think so,
everything. Yeah. There's I think a new era in the local area is
Mhm.
actually taking place. Very
Yeah.
notable. So they put in those research facilities downtown
Yeah.
and stuff, and the incubators
I
and
want to
stuff.
look into that new incubator.
I looked at them a while back.
The last one, there's the one in JC that basically got taken over by one company.
Oh really?
It's kind of weird, yeah. JH Robotics.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of took
yeah, yeah.
over every spot in the incubator until it was just there.
Oh
Yeah, I've seen
yeah.
that sign. What do they actually work on?
I think I'm pretty sure I've heard of them doing the surgery robots.
That's cool.
Beyond
That
I'm
is
not
pretty
sure.
awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sure what else they do, but
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's they basically I guess they're capitalizing on the instruments that are available there, because they have a bunch of shared machinery that you can use, basically for when you run
the
the
new
space.
incubator.
I think all of them do. When
The
I
one
know
at
the
JC's
new one.
been taken. It's not even an incubator anymore. It's just
But
yeah.
they might be doing that because they don't have to buy the research equipment. I guess
They
yeah,
lease it.
could be.
you're running it, and then
Yeah.
you get access to that stuff. That was
They
one of
wanna-
the benefits. Like I was looking at there, they have just tons of different research tools that are probably millions of dollars
Mhm.
individually, but by renting a space there, you can just use it. So like,
It's pretty dope.
yeah. But yeah, no.
Aliens.
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 I mean,
It's probably BAE or Lockheed.
well,
What,
like
the aliens.
In our local
specifically,
area,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
Yeah,
And going back even to like your parents' stories and stuff.
Right,
it's
yeah.
Like, well, those
Yeah.
industries have been here since the
Right.
beginning, and
Yep.
they do experiment.
This place is
Just
pretty
like
weird.
Any human being, like a kid would,
Yeah.
playing around with stuff.
And
Like they're gonna. do the
honestly,
same
like
stuff,
most
so.
of these experiments are classified shit they're working on for the government.
Mhm.
So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
if you look at like the whole reason the moon lander was here is because they worked on that when it was like a major project, but like a lot of that technology and stuff, like that's just one notable thing that they were working on. There's a bunch of other stuff.
Drones are
Mhm.
huge.
Drones are very huge, and like I think that like the some of the stuff like that they have done, like I've seen, you can watch some of the videos on like different types of electrical propulsion and stuff where they use like ions and like there's no moving parts, and you can just move air around like a metal foil, and then it'll take off and stuff. They've been experimenting with stuff like that for a very long time.
Yeah, they got those ion
Yeah.
air cleaners that you can get for your house.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, it really is. It's just it's not like
It's just not as powerful.
yeah, it's not as
You hook
powerful.
that up
yeah.
to 480 instead of 110.
Yeah.
Now you're getting places.
And then, I mean, they did experiments with like nuclear propulsion and stuff for rockets and stuff, where they actually built some stuff and tested it out back in the day. So it's not inconceivable that they have like just like these rovers and stuff on Mars are nuclear powered.
Yeah.
It's not inconceivable you could make a compact, lightweight, nuclear powered system that is flying electrically. The propulsion's electrical, so you don't like you have no. There'd be no noise, but it would create like a plasma field around it, so it would look really weird too.
Yeah.
So like and then they theoretically they could have been making something like that even 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
potentially, like because everybody's known about those things for a very long time, but batteries are not strong enough to do it for very long. So people are like, oh, so nobody's done it. But there's a bunch of nuclear powered stuff that we know exists that the government uses. So who could do that? People who have access to those things. So you could make a nuclear powered drone that flies on the same principles, and it would theoretically be light enough and like not have the fuel constraints of like a typical drone or something like that. Which a lot of these things too, I think that they're experimenting with stuff and trying to get drones that, because it's unmanned, it can just hover over an area for months and then just take in data, and it can be up super high and not be detectable and stuff like that. So it's very conceivable that what you're seeing is preliminary stuff for studies on things like that, and that could explain a lot of that, over the last 50 years anyway. I mean, do you think nuclear technology's been out for a really long time,
Yeah.
actually? So
Yes.
The thing is, how do you derive electrical energy from nuclear power? Historically, you still heat water and make steam and spin a turbine.
well,
How do you actually, I mean, the rovers obviously don't do that. How do they actually get power?
they use like it's like a thermal electric generator. So it's like it produces heat, and then it uses the difference in the temperature within the unit and outside of it. I believe I'd have to look it up again,
Yeah.
but and then it uses that to produce electricity. It's kind of similar, a Peltier cooler. They're like it's like a chip.
Carrier water.
Yeah, no, yeah. it's a chip, and you can cool things down electronically,
Yeah.
and it moves heat from one side of it to the other, so the other side will take the heat up, and the other side will cool down. Which I thought was fascinating, because you're basically taking entropy from one side and moving it to the other side, which is kind of crazy with no moving parts. Like, I think this principle works in the opposite direction. You're taking the differential and then turning it into electricity, and like there's also no moving parts. So like and like some of these rovers and stuff, they have projected lives of like 5 or 10 years, and they just keep going. Like the Voyager probe has just been running for like 50 years
It's got
or
solar
something.
panels, though. And a nuclear reactor too, doesn't it?
It's running on nuclear because it's been so far away that the solar is like basically non-existent. But they never projected that it could like it's going so long. That's why I think some of the like it's all based on probability and half-lives and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that might actually be like our math on it might not be accurate because you're dealing with timescales that are really long.
We really don't know when you're getting like super far away from Earth how nuclear works, right?
Yes.
Like we have ideas, but
Well, I mean, it could function differently. Like here,
yeah,
like you have like for example, right here, the amount of neutrinos passing through here is so dense. Like you're just getting bombarded by trillions of neutrinos, like, and they just go right through you.
Yeah.
But that density drops off like logarithmically the farther away you get. So like if you're out that far, like it's like maybe it's very possible that those interactions are not nothing at all, but maybe they're weak interactions that decay molecules, and it could influence things like nuclear decay and stuff for sure. Yeah. Like that's just off the top of my head. I'm like thinking like that might be.
I think everything that comes out of your ass.
Did you hear that the Hubble telescope looks like it's dead now?
Oh no, I did see something about they were trying to like do something with it, but I didn't know it died.
Yeah, I don't know if they did some sort of they said it was a glitch, so I think was it. So I don't know if they were trying to do like a software update or something, and it didn't go well, and it's just
Windows
floating around space.
I had a Windows update.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
just
crazy.
in the last week or so.
Well, that James Webb is supposed to be going up soon.
Yeah,
right?
that's
that
supposed
thing's
to be able
gonna
to,
be crazy.
that's supposed to be able to like
Yeah.
image extrasolar planets
Yeah.
and determine if they have like Earth-like atmospheres and stuff. Which is
It's gonna be nuts.
Amazing.
Like I forget how much bigger it is, but they had to fold it up to fit it into the rocket,
Yeah.
and then it like unfolds in space. But it's like I think it's like each one of the mirror segments on it is the size of the Hubble, and there's like 10 of them or something like that. Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, which like you think like it's kind of nuts. Like when we were kids, like when Hubble went up, like it's just weird because we take it for granted. Like I don't know what time that went up, like, but it was up long enough, like that. Like when we were kids, like we just always knew what the
dope
outer space looked
system.
like.
Yeah, we're like, oh, the Andromeda Galaxy. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
I'm 6. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, like, and then like, but prior to that, they didn't even really know. Like, they hypothesized that there were like other galaxies and stuff, but they didn't.
Right.
They couldn't really see them.
Oh, yeah.
And then they took that and they, like, every like square inch of like the cosmic sphere that you look at, like they zoom in and there's like 100 million galaxies.
Full of galaxies.
Yeah, like, and they're like, oh, there's more than we thought. Like,
Yeah.
and then, but this thing though, it's gonna be able to look between those galaxies,
Oh, wow.
and then they'll
See the
probably
other
see
ones, yeah.
even more galaxies. So like that's gonna be nuts. Like, and then you think like,
They look between it's just like billboards.
yeah,
Oh, shit.
it's just insane though to think that like, I just think the idea, unless we're in a simulation, which probably true, like, but we're probably but even if you have a simulation, you're gonna want like, it's gonna want to be accurate to like whatever degree you want it to be. So like if there's other planets and stuff that are similar to ours, like why wouldn't there be life and other things on them? So we're probably in a simulation, but there's probably also like other planets.
If we are in a simulation, there's got to be other planets.
Yeah. Like, because like
they're just working on networking together.
Well,
Yeah.
and also it could
They
be
link the
updates. Like
technology.
there
Yeah,
weren't,
exactly.
there weren't
Yeah.
extrasolar planets until
Yeah.
we had the technology. And they're like, oh shit.
they don't have enough.
Right, the simulation has gotten advanced
Yeah.
enough. We have to keep
Just put
putting more
patches.
Like,
data.
well, they're just trying to get all the servers up and running that
Like,
you would
well,
need to
just
run.
throw them a bunch of aliens. Like,
Yeah, like,
see how they deal with this.
We've been on a
Like,
one server system for this. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like it's like we're getting enough revenue now. I
Yeah.
think we can open up a couple more servers. Like, but like, you look at that though, it's like those numbers aren't just like it's just hilarious because it's like if we just had like just the Andromeda galaxy,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, that's crazy though.
Yeah,
like,
right, yeah.
Whoa, there's another place, and it's got like 100 million stars just like ours does. It's 100 million planets. There's 200
Just
million
doubled
stars.
it up. Yeah.
200 million solar systems, and then you're just like, that sounds nuts. But it's like, no, there's an infinite amount of them.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. Like, and then people are like, do you think there's extraterrestrial life? And it's like, man, what? Like, unless we're in a simulation where there's just no extraterrestrial life, and that's the
I
point.
mean,
They just
That
want
would
to
be
see
more
what.
convincing that it's a simulation
Like-
than it's.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no, for real.
they're
Like,
it. Like,
if
I guess
you
this is
make-
all. Like,
think about it though. Like, if you wanted to run an experiment and you're like, let's just like make a version of our planet where there is no aliens and just like see what
Yeah.
happens. Like, and
We
then
could
like
do that one,
everybody just
yeah.
goes insane and they're just like, oh, it's just nothing but rocks. Like,
or, but it's also possibly that we're just being.
Just us.
Yeah,
We are a simulation that we are created so that in a higher whoever created us, they're suffering from the experience of being bombarded with extraterrestrial life. They're like, I just want to live in a universe
Oh, yeah.
where there's no
Yeah.
extraterrestrial life, and we're it.
Yeah.
And they created this land.
yeah, and they're like, just like, let's just see.
It's actually really peaceful.
Yeah, they just want
Nice.
Yeah.
like we're like, this is dumb. Like, why isn't there any like?
Yeah.
like- but then they're like, guys, you're
I'm
taking it for
bored.
granted. Like, they're just like watching, and they're like, it's so great. I wish that was me. You know? Yeah.
It's like the Stardew Valley of simulations. Just like
Yeah,
play it. Nothing crazy.
nothing crazy.
Hang out, grow some
Super
food.
mundane.
Eat it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
the
big
simple
deal.
life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
smartphones and satellites
Yeah.
and billionaires trying to get
Simple
off the
stuff.
Like, we
planet.
built a simulation based on fun, and that's all you guys.
And you guys are fucking up the fun. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. So, like, it didn't go as we thought it
NPCs are
would.
just
But...
out of control.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, all the NPCs are just glitching out, destroying the simulation. They're like...
I saw a kind of a tangent. I saw a post today, a local post of for missing animals,
Yeah.
and it was somebody's emotional support dog ran away,
Oh, really?
and I was like, "That's
I don't buy it.
They don't. They're not like. Imagine. Imagine that.
This
First of all,
lady's
either
crazy.
like, okay, you got a really short. Is a trained emotional support animal. It's
Yeah.
like, well, either that's a really shitty animal, or you put that thing through so much.
Oh,
work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
God,
It's like,
yeah.
sorry, I'm out of here.
I need to focus on me for a little bit.
Did you know the person?
No, it's just posted on the missing dogs
Yeah.
forum.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. So it was trained to do this job.
Yeah, it's a certified emotional support animal.
Was it?
No, they say trained.
Okay.
I mean, I could train some emotional support
I've
animals.
heard a lot of people say they have an emotional support.
Well, the thing is, all animals are emotional.
That is true.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if Bitsy's very good at
Yeah.
the job.
Cats don't. Cats don't.
Plus evil cats that bite you randomly
Yeah.
shouldn't count. I don't think.
Well, I mean, she bites you with love.
Yeah.
Though. She's
Oh.
no, yeah, yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, no, she's learning.
Just draw a spot out of blood, just enough for a pack.
Yeah, yeah,
Like-
yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that it?
Let's see. I think we did do all of the stuff that we had on here.
Now we have to just interact like friends.
Oh my god!
I do have one thing that I wanted to say that didn't come up. I feel like they're not going to release anything. We'll see, I guess. I mean, they're going to say there's aliens at best, it seems like.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to say if the aliens have pussies. And that's really what I want to know.
I mean, I feel like all
Can we
life.
fuck? That's the most important
I mean, life has developed similarly. I mean, I feel like if you went to another planet,
Yeah, I don't know.
the life would look it would look different, but it would look familiar.
There's a lot of life on Earth that doesn't even have pussies. Like trees.
What if they're just like sea creatures? That's one of the.
Yeah, it's
They
like a
could be.
squid or
Yeah, why
like
not?
a sponge.
long
I,
as
don't know,
it-
I think
Probably
it's a high
hard to build an
likelihood that it
aircraft.
would be.
As long as it
underwater.
has
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's
Okay.
fine.
Like
Alright.
what
Squid pussy's pussy.
what do you think about like what if there's just like
It could go the other way though, where it's even better.
They only have dicks. But they're huge, so it works like a pussy.
but like what if they were from like the like what if they were like actually like a UFO or whatever like an alien, but it's like not like it's actually from Earth and it comes from the ocean because most of the planet is
That would be crazy.
ocean water.
That could be though.
So what if like a deep sea creature developed technology
Yeah.
like a long ass time ago,
Yeah.
but they just like we don't ever go down there really. Sometimes we do, but it's very rare.
Right.
Like what if they just hardly ever come up here? And
We've
sometimes
explored
you
the
see them.
surface of the moon more than we've explored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like what if the mole people thought like to them the ocean is like what the atmosphere is to us.
Yeah.
So they like developed a space program to go into the ocean
Yeah.
and see what's up. And then they got up and they're like, "What the fuck is this air? What is going on up here?"
Yeah.
But then they developed, and now they got. I mean, you probably develop better air technology from underwater, right? Because you're dealing with these forces. You figure out how to deal with those forces, and then you get up into the air, and you're like, "Oh, it's fucking easy." Like,
Yeah, no, there's no resistance.
Fucking fly
There's
around.
basically no resistance.
I'd
yeah.
imagine too, because like if say there's a like a water world that has
Yeah.
super intelligent life, but the barrier is bad enough being like getting through our atmosphere into space. They would have to first of all they have to carry their atmosphere around with them most likely. So they have to, but I don't know. Maybe they just have some suit that's extremely. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
But at whatever propulsion they develop, when they would actually have to be far more intelligent and advanced to escape their atmosphere. So it'd almost be a no-brainer. Like if they're making a propulsion system that, like, they can't make airplanes because they're squids.
Yeah.
But they can make. Eventually, they develop something that we can just break out of our ocean atmosphere now into the atmosphere that we aren't even involved because there's literally no land.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, no, we can just travel freely through our solar system, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because they never made wings, they never had airplanes.
Right, yeah.
Like they had to go straight to something that fucking.
Well, because like prior to that, they could only really travel in the water. So like and then like if they it would be like the space program just getting out of the water.
But
like,
way harder.
But
well,
way,
I mean,
it'd be really hard. Yeah.
it would probably be pretty if you just. Well, they don't have air to fill things with, I guess. Yeah, but if you get something to go up, the real challenge is coming back down.
Yeah.
They probably put a bunch of dogs and things.
Well, 'cause, like,
and
a lot
send them up.
of these
sea dogs. Sea dogs.
But a lot
Probably
of
seahorses.
a lot of these things are like viewed going in and out of water too, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Well,
and
I
that's one of the
assume-
patents too.
I
Is a
assume that any
trans
advanced
medium
enough- if-
thing. Yeah.
If you're able, and that's one of the reasons why I have a big problem with why do they crash? Like this thing
Yeah.
is meant to be able to travel through interstellar space, and then they get all the way here and they fucking ram into the planet. Like unless they're just probes, they are kind of
Could
dumb
be.
almost, and they're just being zinging them out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Like I mean,
Yeah,
how
it
many
must be
robotic
like
probes?
point zero 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 1% of them crash.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
as far as we
Just
know,
tons
there's
of
only,
them.
we only know about one.
Like,
Well,
like
we've
Everyone
had-
knows about the
Yeah,
one.
Roswell's most
Yeah,
common.
but like
And we've
besides
had-
that,
and we've had probes that just crashed. We've sent things to Mars that just crashed and
on
failed.
purpose. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they may
yeah.
they might have collected all the data they needed and then just plummeted
Well,
into the.
Well, also think about like if they've been like gathering. Let's say this civilization is like it's underwater and stuff. It would be like unaffected by like the ice ages and stuff like that. This could be something that
Oh,
developed like 100,000
It could
years
be a
ago.
million year
Well,
old.
that's
Yeah.
very exciting to
Uh,
see what sort of life we find in our own solar system.
But they might. It's very possible. Like most of the planet is water, and a lot of what we look at in the water is really smart.
Yeah.
It's been around a lot longer than we
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
then you look-
competition is a step higher. I feel like.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
way
for sure.
harder down there. Yeah, like up here, you look around. There's like a few squirrels. Like
Honestly,
some,
like,
deer, like,
over under, do we get taken
down
over by
there.
aliens or ocean creatures? If that's a
yeah, no.
fair bet, I don't know. Like some
Yeah, like-
dude might.
Well,
Hey, we're from Atlantis. We figured it out. You guys are done.
Well,
we're here now.
We've
Think
been
about it,
spending
like-
all our time worrying about
Yeah,
alien invasion too,
it's
and
the
we don't
more
even
people.
like we aren't even prepared.
yeah.
yeah, no, for the sea
super
creatures.
intelligent
Yeah.
octopi
Yeah.
just start
Yeah.
They
like,
might think we've started the war because at
'Cause
this
you-
point we've been destroying the oceans, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, the thing is, like,
yeah.
an
And they're like,
octopus-
all right, guys.
Oh
That's
man.
very-
so
Yeah,
and an octopus
that's
has
true.
like a decentralized brain. So like guns don't work against these hyper intelligent.
Yeah.
Because you're just shoot them and it's like, well, you haven't destroyed
He
my
just
nervous
grows his
system.
arm.
Sure, I
His
forgot what I
arm
had for
grows
breakfast
back.
yesterday. But that's it.
But they like, if you think, that's a good point about destroying the oceans and stuff. If we're just sharing the place with
Yeah.
another species that was like, even if they were 1,000 years ahead of us, like that's so much time.
Yeah.
Like, that's like
ridiculous.
crazy technologically.
Yeah.
So like
1,000
the,
years ago,
Which
people
they
were-
are.
yeah, like I mean, like, but you look, they have paintings and shit of weird like UFO like things and stuff like that. So it's like people have been seeing weird shit in the sky for a long ass time.
I thought you were talking about the sea creatures have.
Yeah, no, there's just like Cthulhu in the air, like yeah, no, but they
French
like
sea caves.
if you think about like the potential there, like like we hardly ever go down to the bottom of the ocean, so it's just like if they
There's nothing
weren't
there. It's boring.
capable of coming up here and
Yeah.
then like flying around, like are they really going to interact with us much anyway? Like
About it. We're assholes.
well, also though, like if you saw like a civilization of like squids and shit though, like are you gonna really try? Like how
Squids
much
have
would we
pussies, right?
like? How much would we like try and communicate with them though? Like I don't know. It seems like if you just like if we observed like a civilization of squids, but that were less advanced than us, but they had like stone tools and shit, like and they're like kind of like or whatever, like
Yeah.
they're just like fit maybe even like a couple hundred years behind us or whatever. Like are they like would communication even matter? Like you know what I mean? Like
We would probably start talking to them immediately. Like we'd be like, "Oh shit, these squids know something."
I think we
Like,
probably would.
Yeah,
But,
just
like-
who we are as humans, we'd be like, "All right, we got to figure out how to talk to these guys."
But then,
See
like,
what's
what
going
I
on.
think we
happens-
treat
Which
them
would-
like we treat
probably
Greta
shouldn't.
Thornburg.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
yeah.
like, we're destroying the oceans, and they're like,
yeah. You're just a squid.
Because yeah, like that's the other like if you encountered like a bunch of cavemen somewhere, like there's still
Yeah.
cultures that are like super.
Well, I mean, then again, too, like I think we interacted with a bunch of like tribes in the
Yeah,
jungle.
yeah.
And then at some point we were like, all right, let's just fucking stop
Yeah,
interacting with them.
which
yeah,
is
there's
after we
unconscious
got the
better
fuel,
peoples that
yeah.
we purposefully
Yeah,
just leave alone.
yeah.
that's a
Don't do
better
it.
policy.
Yeah.
because like you end up
But
just
it takes
ruining the
takes
culture.
ruining.
Well,
a
and
few
every once in a while,
cultures to
some
figure it
like
out, yeah.
some like douchebag on a boat decides to like visit the island.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they kill them. Like,
Well, yeah.
Yes, they should.
Well, what would you think that they would do?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's like the yeah. No, it's just like that. That makes a lot of sense, and then I feel like any civilization that is like even like 50 years beyond us is gonna probably have that policy way more nailed down.
Yeah, right,
and they're
right,
just gonna
right.
be like, we've done this so many times, like
Yeah.
like because yeah, I just
And
think
they
they
may even-
probably wouldn't.
They may even have the same mindset that we basically were like, well, we're gonna just fuck up the planet and we'll figure something out and we'll just stay in
Right.
our own little. Everything else is going to collapse, but we'll stay protected. We'll make domes and shit. They might just
Yeah.
be like, fuck it, let the humans. They can fuck all this shit
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
We have our own little civilization down here that we can just maintain,
Yeah.
despite
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Right.
Especially if
That's
they
true.
can just travel wherever the fuck they want, all throughout space.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
They're
weird
already fucking.
They might not have the limitations we have.
the
Right.
weird thing too though is that like if they could travel anywhere throughout space that they want to go, like just like spacefaring civilization, like well I guess like Mars and the Moon are really huge, so if they have been to those places and they're not just like constantly there, like you might not even notice that they were there because
No.
it's just they have a few weird monuments and shit or crash ships or something.
Just some
you have to
flags.
scan the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, it's like a dust storm all the time there. No, am I wrong? It's the opposite of that. Never mind. Dust doesn't move
Oh, on the
on
moon.
the moon.
It just
There's
like
no wind.
Yeah.
it just stays the
Yeah.
same unless there's like an asteroid or something
Right.
that impacts it. But the like if you so I guess like their presence could be in all these places and you wouldn't even really know still. Yeah, like which
Well,
is,
there's probably nothing there for them.
well if they're
Yeah,
if
there's
they're
ocean.
if,
Other-
yeah if they're
other
water
places.
based then
Yeah.
yeah.
They're all up in Venus.
But they could be
just
on
taking it
Europa
out.
or
Right, they might find like
Yeah.
methane sea and be like, "Holy shit, this is
Yeah.
awesome!"
Yeah. Well, because
And
yeah,
they
These
get high.
primates are getting out
They
of
might get
control.
high off it. We don't know.
yeah. Like actually, yeah, like from our perspective, we're just looking for some air in like a desert. We're like, nice. Like, it's like if you need to live
Well,
in
we
the
can
ocean,
fix
like
that, yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
man, these places suck.
Yeah, completely.
yeah. So yeah, like they might be pretty much landlocked here unless they go to like Europa or something like you're saying. Like so, like,
Landlocked is very.
I was gonna say that.
They're waterlocked.
yeah, waterlocked, yeah,
Sea locked.
sea locked. But I think that like might be the like if you're talking about aliens, it's like just as plausible, really. Like if you think
If
about
not more so.
it, if
Yeah.
not more so because we
So we
already
can only
know.
scan so deep into the earth, right? It's not that far. Like scanning through solid material is
Oh
fucking
yeah, there's
hard.
you
Yeah,
can-
everything we believe, we have a pretty good idea what the composition of the Earth is, but it's really just based on hopefully accurate
Yeah.
science.
Yeah,
But it's not like
right.
we know. It's
I
not
don't trust
people.
science for one, personally.
Yeah, they just take the seismographic readings.
Yeah, just figure out when shit reflects back and stuff.
And
and,
like you can tell a little bit about it, but it's like you don't really know. Like you don't know. And then like the ground penetrating radar, they can go down a few meters or something like that. Like they can't
That's
see
not that far.
very far.
I mean,
Like so, like if there's a bunch of reptilians down there, we just like we're not going to know that for a while. So.
Unless we've had contact.
Yeah, you think that
And of
they're
interbreed.
Oh, right.
Which is a question.
Yeah.
Like,
Because as John was saying,
Yeah. Do you think?
or as this elephant was saying.
No, he said John. Yeah, no, it's this is John.
But, like, if you're like, so if we made contact and we're breeding with the reptilians, like do you? Well, I mean, like, think about it though. The dinosaurs were around for a really long time. That's also not improbable that like
No, I know.
some like really like intelligent bird or whatever, because they're actually birds, like could have like also gotten to a stage like that,
Yeah.
and like they still had forelimbs, so that gives them hands. Like birds are really smart, but they're not gonna. They can't. I don't think they can build anything.
Yeah, they're physically
They
disadvantaged.
built nests,
Yeah.
man. Intricate
Oh, yeah.
nests.
Well-
What are you talking about?
I mean, I guess I'm wrong there. Yeah, no, they
It's
could.
a long way to go to a spacecraft, though. From
He builds the nest, and then he's not using his wings anymore, and he's just hovering around in it.
Just out of curiosity, what's like the lifespan of like an octopus?
I think, because there's a lot of different species. I think
On average.
I want to say that it's not as long as you would think.
Okay.
But,
So
it is
what's-
years, though.
I think it's like 8 years
Is
or
it?
something.
Is
Like
it?
that. Some of
Yeah.
the smaller ones. Yeah.
So that's really short.
Yeah.
So they're not octopi.
Which also just means more generations to like
Evolution.
maybe
Optimize.
number of generations.
They're,
Oh,
they're
evolution's
optimizing
to
faster.
Evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shorter
Absolutely.
lifespan means.
Because the longer your
Means
lifespan is, the less
generational
iterations you get.
Changes
Yeah.
are gonna happen.
Yeah.
quicker.
So like that's why
Well, I was thinking.
microscopic
I mean, it
organisms
takes
evolve really fast.
it takes a very long time to travel from point A to point B in the
Yeah.
solar system. So, for us, we look at that and we're like, "Holy fuck, it's going to take forever to get to Mars." But
Yeah.
if you take something that lives forever, that lives a long ass time, maybe
Yeah.
immortal,
Mhm.
then that isn't a long
Well,
time.
like you were talking about,
Split.
some species of animals have like
Like bugs.
Yeah.
Don't
They just
crocodiles
don't
live a
die.
really long
Yeah.
time?
crocodiles live for
Yeah,
like
alligators.
150 years or
Yeah.
something. That's,
That's
how
crazy.
long we know that they live
Right.
for. But they might not have an end either. They're
Yeah.
like, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think until they can no longer find enough food, and then
Probably,
they just
right,
die.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Makes sense. Like at a certain
Yeah.
point, the bigger you are, the more calories per day
You need,
and
yeah.
then There's
And
only
then-
so many hours in a day.
and your like river might not be big enough to
Yeah.
like hide in anymore, and you're just like, oh,
even an infinite river with infinite food, at some point, like you'd
Yeah.
be so big that you would have to be eating more than you like. Even if fish
Yeah.
were just going into your mouth, you had to move to get
yeah,
to them.
yeah.
At some point, it
Yeah, no,
stops adding up.
I guess
yeah.
like you end up with like people have done experiments or the math with the with like dinosaurs too, like how big theoretically could a dinosaur get before like it's like breaches like a size limitation and it just
Yeah.
can't get any bigger because like a land animal, your arms like have to hold you up, your arms and your legs like so like at some point like you look at like an elephant and its legs are like a pillow.
Oh yeah, just physically. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They don't look like a normal animal anymore. It's
Yeah.
because they get so large that you need to have such like amount of mass to hold you up that it morphologically changes you into like
Well, even just to respirate, right? Like
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah,
just to
like-
support respiration, which is I
Yeah.
think why like prehistoric animals are so much larger because the atmosphere is a lot thicker.
yeah, there's more oxygen. and
Like there's
stuff too, I
bugs that
think.
were 3 feet across.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just can't survive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Like bugs have a lot of evolutionary iterations. Like you would kind of think they would develop a better breathing mechanism. Like, because like their size limitation is really just because they breathe through pores on their
Yeah,
legs.
they just
Like,
they're just like a sloshing of blood on the inside.
Yeah.
like holes that the blood can't get
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
but air can get in.
yeah,
Like they
and
don't have
that
like a lung system.
like which
It's
you would
just-
think though like you know like pesticides, you just keep hitting them with a pesticide and they die or whatever, and like eventually they just don't die anymore because they're like, oh, like one of them's mutant and now
Yeah,
like,
and then now
like,
that's the bug.
wouldn't
Yeah.
you think that not having enough oxygen to get as large as a human being would do like kind of the same thing evolutionarily? Like you have this whole niche you can't explore
Yeah.
because
Well,
you're like
I think
just
we only
barred
figured
from
out
it.
how bugs breathe like 30 years ago.
I mean,
But
they're
something
really
evolved
hard
from
to
bugs,
like.
probably.
Well, there's like all the like lobsters and
Yeah.
crabs and stuff are just giant sea bugs. Like
I was reading this thing the other day that what was it called? Like a co something evolution.
yeah,
I'm not learned.
conspirator.
Basically, like 12 or 15 that we know of, different types of animals. I don't know, genus
Yeah.
or whatever. Like some like different animals
Okay.
have a offshoot that has evolved back into a crab. Like
Yeah, everything evolves back into crabs.
it's apparently crab is
Oh,
like
weird. That's
the
crazy.
perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's
Crazy.
like there's tons of animals that eventually evolve into a crab.
That's so
Weird.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
It's
really
like
weird.
a hard shell. Your body is made of a hard shell.
Yeah.
You have
8 legs.
grabbers and 8 legs is apparently the right amount of
Weird.
legs.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because
Huh.
I wonder if it's because you could lose 2 and you're still good.
Yeah.
Like, you could really lose 4
And
you're
then
still all right.
You've got a couple arms. Like
Yeah, then you grab things and you eat things and
Yeah.
you're covered in a hard shell and like that's
it's pretty
you can
nuts.
pretty much survive anywhere. Like
I mean, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like,
We probably
yeah.
live in a universe just full of crabs.
Yeah.
yeah. It's mostly crabs.
Well, I mean, we eat them, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're like.
know.
We're not the only.
I feel like
Eat some.
if you're like not if you don't have hands though, they'd be hard to eat.
Nothing
Like,
else.
Right,
goes.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
mandibles.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have
Right.
to
Or
crush them
like
up.
a shark could eat a crab, but they probably don't even want to. They're like, wow, there's this soft ass fish over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Just munch on them.
there's also
I
like
can see that.
Yeah.
the meat in a crab. The amount of calories you get for the work you're doing
Yeah.
is
It's like a
almost
pomegranate,
none.
like,
yeah.
Maybe once
Yeah,
every
no,
3
yeah.
years I'll bother eating a pomegranate.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, they taste really good, but
Yeah,
you
but-
really want a machine or like
I could just shove a
assembly
handful
line.
of raspberries right in my mouth.
Yeah. You just want like a team of people just on a conveyor belt disassembling these crabs for you, so you can make like
Yeah.
crab stuff with their meat.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
reason we eat crabs is just because we have industrial machinery.
yeah.
Or if they have soft shells.
They're easy to catch,
Those
right?
idiots.
They're easy to catch, but
They're
at
easy
a
to
price.
catch,
Like if you have to expend
Lot of
200
work,
calories and
yeah.
you get 200 calories from it,
Yeah.
you're living on a taut line. But no, like I feel like shellfish they're probably the best.
Poison? Yeah, the Bible says so.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like in terms of like an animal where you have minimal amount of work and like high quality calories, that's probably it, right? Like a clam or like They're just laying on
There's
the
some
ground.
reason that
You're like,
everything evolves into crabs.
it's,
Yeah.
you're just gathering, but it's like meat nuggets, like chicken nuggets, like just
Yeah.
in on the shore. Yeah.
Well, and even like lower energy like level is like corals and shit, where
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
literally just water passes through them, and once in a while food is in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
But then you think like how can we eat that? Like, no, it's just a bone with some algae.
No point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like there's got to be like, is there not a single coral that people eat? Like some,
Not that I know of.
I don't know. If
I've been
any-
on like My Strange Addiction. There's somebody.
Yeah,
that's
someone,
Oh,
has,
yeah.
someone has eaten coral.
Yeah,
They're
it's got
just
that
crunching on
It's
them.
got that.
Yeah,
It's got that
Yeah.
texture.
It's
People
got
eat
sugar
rocks,
in
so
there.
Yeah, they seem like I guess they would at least be a good source of calcium. Like other than that, I'm not sure.
yeah, almost
Yeah,
to a detriment. 'Cause you just
Yeah.
like you just
get like
kidney
bone
stones.
spurs.
Both
all
so strong.
Yeah. You're just nothing but bone spurs.
So maybe really everything's just evolving into bone spurs. And
Yeah,
a crab
yeah.
is just along the way.
Oh,
to be
yeah,
a
yeah.
bone spur.
There is like
Skeletons. We're all becoming skeletons.
I mean, you don't see crabs from space, but you do see coral from space. So like, there's what's really the end game here?
The real aliens.
Yeah.
They live a long time too.
Corals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's basically
Unless we
like
fuck them up.
yeah.
Show them a lesson.
Which is so easy.
Yeah, put them in their place.
Well,
Fuck corals.
It's taking a
You
while.
just like
Fuck corals.
just-
corals
just
are fucking
warm
pussies.
them up a bit.
Yeah, just warm the
Just
ocean
put your
up a
hand
bit
on
and
it.
get out of here.
2 degrees? What? You can't handle it? Saw guys like working on GMOing some corals so it can survive climate change.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Fuck
that could
it,
get
why not?
interesting.
that could be.
So we're just gonna have a
invasive
monoculture.
species.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have a monoculture
Yeah.
of coral though.
I'm
Yeah.
honestly so surprised that there hasn't been like a crazy genetically engineered invasive species yet. Like, because I know people are like
You mean,
fucking
like
hanging
COVID?
out and like. I guess you start with the small ones first, right? But like I don't like they're making pig
Yeah.
people and shit. Like someone
Yeah.
didn't make a spider that just takes over all the spiders. Like
Yeah.
surprised that hasn't.
Yeah, I
gotten
am
yet.
surprised that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I guess there's the
Aren't they gonna mess with mosquitoes?
killer bees is probably the largest organism that.
Oh yeah,
kind
no,
of-
they were created
that
like
is, yeah.
in a lab. Like
they're taking.
Were they really
everything
created in a
over.
lab though, or were they
Yeah.
like more like?
No, they were created in the lab.
they bred multiple species together
Yeah.
until to try to make the perfect honeybee, and
Yeah.
then it
One
like
of the rejects fucking.
yeah,
got
one of the
out.
rejects got out. Like,
But that's through selective breeding. That's not really through like.
but it's
Oh, true.
Yeah.
but it's similar to like if
I meant either. Yeah, in any way, some
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like genetically.
but that's
engineered-
like it's a thing that doesn't exist in the wild, and it was
Mhm.
made in the lab. I mean, like with
Well, it's like Monsanto-based like corn that has has the termination gene in it, where you can't create seed from.
Yeah.
But it ends up pollinating other species of corn adjacent to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then so now, I mean that's
Yeah.
scary. Like
that's one of the
no more
most
food.
disgusting.
Like,
Like,
But they're also
corn's kind of a shitty food,
Yeah.
but it's still food. When you
Yeah,
got no
yeah.
food, corn is alright.
Yes.
Amazon and Walmart and shit suck, but it's like what, you making food that can't make food. Like,
Yeah.
that's, the point. That's how seeds
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Like, making seeds that don't work.
Yeah,
This can't
Your
go awry.
business model is to make
Yeah.
seeds, which are necessary for life, not work. That's
Yeah.
the business model.
They did. I
like-
did hear that they outlawed that. Like, but they do make seedless varieties
outlawed
of stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they do work. Seeds will work if you try to plant them.
but
They're not. They don't. have
no, but that was a real thing. They were
Oh.
gonna roll that out. Like,
My understanding was that when they sell grain to like poor countries, it has a termination gene.
Yeah.
It might still-
I
it
think
might
they
still,
only,
yeah.
they only sell hybrid, grains that can't reproduce the same product.
I've seen
I think
some-
is what it is.
some places won't accept those. Like when we donate like tons of GMO grain to places, like
Yeah.
their people are starving and they're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
There's microchips
mostly
in there.
it's like mostly glyphosate or whatever. Like there's just like
That's the one thing too. It's like a lot of that stuff is just like not nutritious.
well, yeah, no, it's
Like,
basically
When
just
you're point is like when you're gearing towards mass and
Yeah.
like time to develop, like it grows super fast and super big, like, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's because
You'll
what
feel like you're not starving.
Yeah.
Like,
But
yeah,
you- but
for
you
a
are.
while.
Yeah.
Wheat then.
But it's just like you get like, and they see this with like, even with some like fruits and stuff like that. Like the faster that you get it to grow and the bigger you get it to grow,
Yeah.
the less antioxidants and stuff that are in it, and often it doesn't absorb as many vitamins and
Yeah.
stuff,
You
which
can
makes
tell from
sense.
the taste.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like, it tastes like shit. It's
So
like
size
mush.
generally comes at an expense of
Yeah.
nutrient density. Like, and you might get more corn syrup inside of it or whatever.
I do love me some
And
corn
it,
syrup.
Yeah.
it tastes real sweet,
Yeah.
but like,
So
but like,
But they create artificial stress for plants to, like,
Mhm.
you know, for
Yeah.
cannabis to enhance the THC or cannabinoids.
You do that with peppers,
So,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do it with
Yeah, do it with
peppers.
peppers,
I'm
Yeah.
sure they're doing it with fruits and
Well,
stuff
the-
as well.
Yep.
that was a big component that they were missing, like with a lot of these a lot of these things that we have found in the wild that we liked and cultivated. They had the properties that we liked in them because they produced those compounds to ward off pests and like different natural stressors. So like by like growing them in a perfect environment with no enemies,
that's not how they
they
work.
just don't produce
Yeah.
as much of it anymore, and then
Yeah.
they lack those beneficial properties.
Right.
So like the resveratrol.
It's like a pepper only needs to grow one pepper, right? Really, the
Yeah.
reason they grow 20 is because at some point, you know, it was a problem. They're like, well, we got to grow 20 so we can get one.
yeah.
But if you put it in perfect conditions,
And then it's just like it'll grow a bunch of big peppers on it,
Yeah.
but they won't have the same types of like the capsaicin or the like some of the other vitamins and stuff that are in it. Like
yeah,
and like most of these compounds are actually insecticides that are
Yep.
grown in
We
them,
love
and
them.
they just taste good.
yeah, they taste
Because
like
like because like they
We have refined palates and pests.
yeah.
See,
But
pretty
those-
much.
But we're basically because of our size, like we're microdosing a pesticide,
Yeah.
and when you microdose these things, they have beneficial effects.
Mhm.
So like me eating one pepper feels good or whatever,
Yeah.
but if I was gonna eat 4 pounds of like capsaicin, high capsaicin
Yeah.
peppers, I would die just like
Yeah.
the bug does.
Right.
It's like, but that like that dosing or whatever is like is also like very interesting because like the it's all really just scale like and the fact that we mix our foods with a bunch of other stuff.
Fucking love poison. We're like, oh, this poppy is cool and all, but we fucking like boil it up, put some other shit in there, dry it out, inject it into our veins. It feels awesome. Fucking love poppies. Like, the poppy developed a defense mechanism. We're like, yeah, but what if we kicked it up a notch?
yeah. And it's like you're bringing it real close to that. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
some
like,
people cross the
If you don't
line.
get to the point that the bug is getting,
Yeah,
you
you
just
just right before the
right
bug.
before that's where you want to be. Yeah.
I learned recently, apparently, dandelion root is a great diuretic. So if you need a diuretic, widely available, it's actually, I guess, fairly potent. So you don't need a lot of dandelions
Oh, interesting.
in case you need to take a piss or something.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a pee diuretic.
Mm.
And
I'm
a
not
poop
studied.
diuretic?
I'm not educated, but I know it's a pee diuretic.
It's just gonna make you.
It's a
Diarrhea
diuretic means.
everything.
It sounds like diarrhea, but I feel like diuretic might mean pee.
Okay.
But
See,
I
that
think
word's
there's a common
confusing.
root name there, though. There's
Yeah.
there's something.
For sure. Well, I mean,
But-
diarrhea is when you pee out of your asshole.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe Ea
It's
means
weird because it's
asshole.
Rhea too. Diarrhea.
Urea, yeah.
Diarrhea.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like
This
We're
part's
so
not gonna
far
make it
off
fun.
topic. Yeah. What?
when the liquid comes out of your butthole.
That's our
Just
outro.
clean your kidneys.
Yeah.
Is that what it refers to?
Yeah, like
Diarrhea.
cranberry or
Like,
prunes
just
or
clean your-
whatever. are
yeah.
diarrhea.
Yeah.
Cranberries
Yeah.
and yeah. So
It's
Cleans out your
kidney
pipes.
cleanse.
Cold
Yep, it's a
water.
kidney cleanse.
Yeah. So we done?
We're done.